Welcome everybody. I haven't made a movie in a while, so I figured I'd do a movie on the maintenance that I'm going to have to do. While out flying at the last session, was flying the Continental, and it's become very, very hard to start. Super hard. I mean, it either has a leaky backplate or poor rings. And I believe it's poor rings. So, what I'm going to do today is, I have a George Aldrich Custom G2146. And we are going to transplant the engines. Now this engine's been sitting for probably 2 years, and it's pretty gummed up. So, to bring it back the easy way, what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to remove the muffler, because this is not going to be the muffler I'm going to use. And we know that the spray bar, 632, we know that the spray bar is going to be ultimately clogged on it. I would bet anything on that. So, I do want to take this out, take this apart, and we're going to swap out the muffler and everything. I'm going to clean the spray bar. This has some bogus washers on it. I don't know what those are. Now, I built that other airplane, or the Continental, because I was given the motor. Well, I really wanted to keep that motor in there because it was a gift, but I'm going to have to send it off to Frank Bowman in order to bring it back to life. And with Brodax coming up, I just don't have the time to do that. So I happen to have a GMA, a George Aldrich Custom. It says it in 2 places, one on the head, one on the lug, on both sides of the lug. So we know this is a valid engine. And it ran good the last time it ran. So I've taken some carburetor cleaner and shot in it. And you can already feel that the castor oil is loosening up. Oh yeah. Then we'll take some of Randy's snake oil if I can find it. Yeah, I see it. I don't know what they call that stuff. Let me get a propeller. I have a whole box, and I do mean a whole box of rev-ups. Gotta make sure I get one. Well, there's that spinner. Okay, there we go. Now this particular one's been hogged out for a prop extension. This looks to me like it was somebody's attempt to make a washer, an anti-slip washer. We're going to make those out of 80 grit sandpaper. Because for some reason all these motors have a problem with them slipping. I don't know why. I also have another 60 here. Of course, we won't be putting that in, but I am going to get it ready to go as a backup engine for the other airplane, should I choose to take that to Brodax. But I really want to take the Continental because then I can fly Classic and PA. And I really like flying it. It's a great flying airplane. Okay, we've taken it from a gummed up state to a state of freedom. And we got some the Randy Aero One Products oil here. And I know this is supposed to go in the fuel, but we're going to use it as our after run to kind of lube up the bearings and get it ready to go. Whether that's the right way or the wrong way, that's my way. So there we go. This airplane, or this engine, was in an airplane that Ted Winterman built, and it ran great, and he gave it to one of the local guys here, who ended up dorking it in and crashing it, so it has a bent fin on the head. Now I'm not going to change out the head, but I'm going to take a screwdriver and see if I can straighten that fin. Not that I would even have to, but that's what I want to do. So just take a screwdriver there, and it could break off, but the head's already ruined. Not ruined, but it's already bent. So that was easy. It smashed it over there. Good as new. I don't recommend you do that, but like I said, the head was already dunged up, so what's the difference? We'll take a little sandpaper here. This is 180, and we'll clean off the scuff. I'll put the broken glow plug back in it, so now the sanding goes down in the cylinder. Now I don't want to sand the outside of the head because it has George Aldrich's signature on it, so we won't be doing that. But I do want to clean this up. So we did that with 180. I got some 320 here. We'll go back and polish it a little bit. And take a little bit of the brake cleaner and squirt on the outside. Paper towel. I know it's not real interesting what I'm doing here, but I kind of just wanted to give you a rundown on how to do things. Boy, I hope compression comes back. That ain't got much. Could be because the plug's loose, but let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, It's got about 10 times the compression the other one's got. No wonder why my other one wouldn't start. Okay. So this one is brought back from the dead. We'll get the airplane now, and we'll take the engine out of it. I'll move the camera so you can get a little bit better view of what's going on instead of looking at me, because I know I ain't nothing to look at. So we'll be back in a second. Alright, move the airplane, got it in position, and we'll go ahead and take the cowl off. And this way, it hasn't been apart since I've first built it, so we get to check things out anyway. The tank compartment's nice and dry, so that's good. Oh, I want to blow through that spray bar as well. How did that happen? You got all kind of crud on the black stuff on the prop. Might have come from the spinner or something, I don't know. So now, if you look at the inside of the cowl, it doesn't have a super shiny finish. It's smooth and it's clean. So what that's showing you is that the inside of the airplane is finished just as nice as the outside. Does that mean anything? Not really. It kind of just a personal preference. I'd sure like to know what's up with this motor, why it's so hard to start. I'm just thinking, because it just didn't have good compression. It didn't have compression like the George motor does. So, that's gotta be it. But I definitely want to fly this at Brodax. This was a new plug I put in out the field, thinking, well, maybe it's hard starting because of the plug, so we're going to take that out and put it in the Aldrich motor. It doesn't even have one run on it, because I couldn't get it started. What a difference. Okay, so now we have to take the muffler off because of the way I have it set up. And of course I don't have my little 1/4-inch wrench handy. You might could get it with a I don't like doing this, but we're going to try it. Do it with these forceps. There we go. So basically what this movie is about is don't be afraid to dive in and do the maintenance, because you'll see that this movie will probably only be about a half an hour long, including all my blabbing. So if there's a problem at the, I just hate having a problem at the field. You know, the time to fix things is here on the bench at home, so that you're not out. Basically what happens is you're having problems at the field. You're holding somebody else up from flying. So take care of them at home. Because these airplanes should start in 1 or 2 flips. Not have to get an electric starter and flip for a half an hour upside down. I knew the compression was weak on the thing, but I didn't realize there was that much difference. There's a difference between the 60 that I have on the bench and the 60 that's in the Monado as well. This one here has twice as much compression, so we might switch that out before we go too. That's not to say that a low compression engine doesn't run well. If it was set up to run that way, but I believe this 46 is just tired. And that's okay. We'll bring it back. It's all nice and dry in there. That's another good thing. Nice and dry. There's nothing in there. That's good. So, before I go any farther with this, we're going to take the needle valve out of this, and I'm going to shoot brake cleaner through it. Because here again, you know that it's been sitting at least 2 years, this motor, so it's going to have a problem. So okay. I've been meaning to do this for a week, but the weather's been so bad here in Missouri. I mean, the wind yesterday was 28 to 32. The wind today is probably around 18 to 20. It rained. And let's go ahead and put the bolts in it. Now, the other one has a stock Venturi and a Randy Smith spray bar, and it did run good. Don't get me wrong. This one here has a I guess George made it, and a stock vent and a stock spray bar. We're just gonna reuse what we know was running on it. I'm not gonna swap out the spray bar and needle valve assembly. I'm just gonna leave it just like I got it, except for straightening the fins, putting a new plug in it. And we'll see if we can make it work. Nice to have friends. Well, it looks like this motor sits farther back in the airplane for some reason. I'm hoping that's not gonna be a problem. Yeah, it could be. Why would it be different? So, okay, I'll put this on. You can tell it sits back in there a little bit because I can just see it, probably 5 thousandths. That means it's going to rub. It's not good. Because I built my airplane to have a close-fitting spinner, so I'll put this on it and we'll try to pull it forward and make sure that it doesn't rub. Yeah, it'll be all right. No, it won't. You see, it's rubbing on the nose ring. We have to make a decision on what to do here. Yeah, it ain't rubbing now. What's up with that? Now it is. Well, maybe that's why it had them goofy washers on it. So, had about a 5,000 shim on it when I got it. Maybe this motor's a little different. I don't know. But we'll put that shim back on it and see if that fixes it. Yep, rubbing. Tight, tight, tight. Well, it ain't gonna work. It's bigger than the hole, so I gotta either make it smaller or find a different shim. Why would they do that? Well, I'm going to have to shut the camera off because this shim is going to have to go on the motor, and this is bigger than the hole. So I either can grind this shim down to this diameter, which is my first choice, or open that hole up. I don't want to do that because that takes away from the structure of where the cowl clips on the there's a little dowel here in the front, and it goes in this hole. So if I take some material away, it'll surely break. So shut the camera and cut this shim. Unless I try 2 pieces of sandpaper. We could try that. I'm not sure. So I'll be back in a minute. I sure hate to stop and start these videos, but when it's going to take me 15-20 minutes to figure out what I'm doing, it's just not worth running the tape. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. It took about a half an hour to figure out exactly what I was going to do. And what I did do is I took sandpaper and I folded it over and I made a sandpaper washer, and I put it between the motor and the back plate, and now we have clearance. So we're good there. Now back with the needle valve. And I probably should have counted when it came out, but we'll just start from scratch when we go out again. And screw it all the way in. And we're going to turn it out. Of course, you can't see it on this. Of course. We're going to make a mark on this so I can see where we are. You got to be able to know where to start. So fire up the belt sander. Sand a little notch in the wheel. This is a Super Tiger needle valve that's been modified. I guess Ted did that, I'm not sure. So, my eyes are just shot. So we got there we are. There we go. 1, 2, 3.5. And we'll start at 3.5, and it'll start right up there. And we'll adjust it to the way I like it from there. Now, like I said, I don't normally use forceps to turn 1/4 inch bolts, but I can't find my 1/4 inch wrench. Why is that thing loose like that? And we may end up putting the other spray bar in it. One, 2, 3.5. I don't understand why it's loose, except that nut is super loose. Might have just come loose when I took it out. There it comes. There we go. Tight, but not too tight. There we are. I'll put the fuel line back on it. And of course, before I go out to the field again, I'll take it down the front yard and run the motor. Probably not today, but before I go out to the field. I know you can't see much of what I'm doing here, but it's basically nothing. I'm just putting the muffler back on it. And if we got a hard starting problem now, which I don't believe we're going to have, but if we do, it's going to be something besides the motor, because I know this motor works. Let's put them jam nuts back on it. I run jam nuts on the muffler. The muffler is threaded itself. You don't have to. But me being a motorcycle mechanic, it's always overkill is always better. I just don't like problems. And it doesn't take no extra time. Not really. that's that part on with the cowl, except it seems like we've lost the screw. Of course, have to get another screw. Lost it when I showed you guys the inside of it. These little clear boxes that Harbor Freight sells are really good. You can have, what is it, 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 different containers in one, and you can have 24 different size nuts, bolts, washers, and things, so for quick access. So that's what I got there. And they're not expensive, they're only like $3. So the maintenance has been done on the Continental, and we'll go ahead and polish it up. Get it ready for the next trip out. Make sure that it's... Oh yeah, I can tell that's much better. Much better than the other engine. I like these blue paper towels. They're from Scott. They're at AutoZone. They don't leave any scratches on the paint. After rubbing it out, I use the Turtle Wax Express Shine. Has carnauba in it. And does a real nice job getting all the fingerprints and smudges and everything off the airplane. This airplane's 100% dope. The only urethane on it is on the nose, that far, just to fuel proof it. So I really like this airplane. I'm going to try the 63-foot lines on it. I was flying with 65s. I have some 60s. The 65s are just too long for this little engine. There's not enough line tension overhead. This moves way too slow in the pattern. I know that I could pitch up, but this is already I think this is 11.6. 11.6 rev up. Boy, there's a big difference in compression. So there you have it. That's my tour of retrofitting the old engine. Let's check the back plate on this and see if it's loose. It wasn't tight. It could be the back plate, but I would more suspect that this motor needs a ring. this Super Tiger 60 here has got twice as much compression as my other one, so we'll probably swap out these motors later on this afternoon, get that other airplane dialed in, because I'll be flying that this summer as well. So until the next video, tight lines. Hope you enjoyed it.